All right, Sam, thanks so much for taking the time to meet with me today. I really appreciate it and really looking forward to the upcoming show in San Antonio, Texas, ISTE 2025, right? What is bringing CCC to the show this year?
Well, actually, this is CCC's fourth year in attendance. And as usual, we are happy to be here. We are promoting Right Find Curriculum, which is a licensing and content solution that it includes copyright permissions, search and discovery tool, immediate access to high quality content, as well as consultative services. This is all included in one annual license with one uniform set of rights, including the rights to reproduce, distribute, perform, display, and house on an LMS, allowing licensees to incorporate texts in all academic activities like lessons and homework assignments and tests and quizzes, and even professional development. We originally went to market with this product because we recognized that when schools and ed tech companies build curriculum, obtaining copyright permissions from a variety of publishers and resources, it needs to happen quickly. And with Right Find Curriculum, licensees are granted immediate reuse rights to over 1 million titles from over 90 publishers, like Highlights and Science News and Yali Books and Time Magazine, NPR, National Geographic, Rosen Books, as well as tons of newspapers. We then realized that customers also need multiple ways to search for these titles, such as grade level and subject and Lexile score. So we've partnered with EBSCO to allow content finders, whether they're teachers in the classroom or they're curriculum developers for an ed tech company. They can discover and immediately use texts from participating publishers. And half of our publishers allow customers direct access to their content through our Publisher Gateway program. And our goal with Right Find Curriculum is to add value to ed tech products and to enable teachers to incorporate content into curriculum and lessons that will deepen engagement with students.
So from the curriculum content director's point of view, talk a little bit about some of the features and functions that you find in Right Find and how that might distinguish your product from others.
Yeah, so really, you have to shift the paradigm of curriculum design. So instead of first finding the titles and then gaining permissions, with Right Find Curriculum, first you know you have the permissions to use over 1 million copyrighted texts, and then you find the titles for your use case. And then what's nice is that luckily, if for some reason those titles aren't working with students, if those they're just not working, with your product even, you can simply just switch them out immediately, and there's no extra cost. It's just part of the annual license fee.
So let's go a little bit deeper into Right Find. Is this something that is student facing, teacher facing, both? Kind of give us a day in the life of how the Right Find is being used in the classroom, and from what you said earlier, outside the classroom.
Sure, absolutely. So really, Right Find is something that the teacher would use, or a curriculum developer would use, or someone who, like an ed tech company would use who is developing curriculum. So somebody who's like a passage puller would use, not the student themselves. And what's really useful is like, for me, I'm a former educator of nearly 25 years, so I'm technically not a salesperson. Um, and so the way I would see it ideally used for me in the classroom is that it's something I could have, on my computer and use it with the kids in my classroom, knowing that everything has already, the permit, it's pre-permissioned. And so I could use it to personalize the curriculum for the students that are in front of me, and pick and choose, knowing that, it's pre-vetted by, reputable publishers. And it is, pre-permissioned. I don't have to worry about copyright,
Yeah,
which, is always an issue.
yeah.
It'll be right away.
So for folks who are attending the show, tell us, where can we find you? What sort of activities does CCC have planned?
Sure, absolutely. So please stop by our booth. It's number 949. Obviously, it's a huge floor, so make sure you go look at a map. I'm not exactly sure where that is. Um, and actually, one of the conversations that we would really like to have with you is sort of AI. It's infiltrated all of our worlds, all of our spaces, and it's just something that we're curious about, especially when it comes to copyright permissions, because that is what CCC stands for, is, Copyright Clearance Center, and sort of how, what your copyright challenges are and how we might be able to help with that.
Great. And if you aren't able to make the show, but you're here watching the live coverage online at eastschoolnews.com, give us some tips on kind of how to go further and to research more about Right Fine and the work that you do at CCC.
Sure, absolutely. You can find us at copyright.com. You can also just look up Right Find Curriculum, and you'll be able to find us online. Pops up immediately in, a Google search. You are also welcome to reach out to me directly at skalman, Kalman, at copyright.com. I'd be more than willing to chat with you about this, whether it's just, curious about how this might work, or if you want to chat about AI and how your copyright challenges.
Well, great stuff once again, Sam. Thanks for your time and look forward to seeing you in Texas.